Hello, welcome to Seagulls Social, the Luton match preview. The match previews are back, and we are back.
We back.
The season 5 is of Seagulls. No, season 4. Sorry, of Seagulls Social is pending. It's very close. Ryan,
this is season 4. This is, but yeah. Come on.
We are okay. I guess we are on the cusp of it. Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know what playlist this goes on YouTube, but we'll see. We'll fix it. We'll get there, mate. We've got Luton, who got unbelievably somehow managed to get promoted from the Championship. A team that everyone does love, simply because of their classic Kenilworth Road away entrance, walking through someone's garden. That old classic meme, everyone's heard it 100 times.
Night.
But unfortunately, we aren't going to that stadium this time on a Tuesday night. We're actually playing them at home, a game that you'd expect us to win, because I mean, obviously they are a relatively small club, and yeah, that's not meant to be disrespectful to them at all. And
it seems
they
like
can
it
only do
started
so
yet.
much in the
Ben's called other clubs small. I don't even know if I'm ready for this.
But I would love them to stay up, but I guess it'll be a really big achievement if they do, and that's just me being brutal. Yeah, no, I'm teeing this up for a big Luton win away at Brighton. But no, I don't know. I just think, we should be going into this game expecting to win.
Should be.
I'm confident that we will. Should be. But Ryan, you go. What are your thoughts going into this game? Like, I guess, do you know much about their transfer window? I said it off air earlier. Obviously, they've signed to Heath Chong, I think, as their record signing for like 4 million, who was on loan at Birmingham last season, I think. Man United player, former, who looked like a decent young talent. Yeah. And they've got a really good manager as well. And they've earned their right to be in the Premier League by being so good last season. So what are you expecting?
I think Luton are like us. I love the way that they've built. They've built really gradually. I think that their trend has been really consistent. They obviously came close the year before. So, they've deserved this. I think that it's been coming for a long time. They were scoring a lot of goals in the Championship. So it's good to see them come up. I think it's not a similar story to us, because obviously ours is slightly different. But I think that the way that they've come from, pretty much, I think it was League 2, wasn't it? Not even too long ago. And now all of a sudden in the Premier League, you've got the likes of Brentford, you've got the likes of Brighton, you've got the likes of Luton in the Premier League now. And I think it's just great when you see teams like that. So based on how they've been growing over those years and that sort of consistent trend, it would not surprise me to see them stay up. It would not surprise me to see them stay up. I think that, if they're basing their model, I don't know what their club model is. I need to do some research on that. And I'm actually now really interested in it, because I did it on Brentford and I learned about Benham and I learned about how they've grown. It's really interesting. And obviously about Tony Bloom and how he's built Brighton. It's a great story. So I actually need to learn about Luton. If there is any Luton fans watching this, then comment below how you've sort of built this, because it's really interesting as a pure outsider. But now that I'm done talking about it, I hope we beat a 5. I'm joking. I do think it will be a tough game. I think when you've got those sort of newly promoted teams on the opening day, it's always tough. So it wouldn't be surprising if it sort of goes away. But I can imagine Brighton will be confident for this. Obviously, we get Kudus over the line, be great. We get a couple more players potentially before the window shuts. I'm feeling pretty confident for a win. This Brighton team is looking very, very strong going into the new season. But we'll see. Luton are an interesting team.
And one strange link that we have with Luton is actually our new signing, and someone that we said is our player of pre-season, Adam. João Pedro, former Watford. I'm pretty sure there's a rivalry there with Luton, a massive one.
Yeah, of course.
I think it was last season. Did he score a brace against them? Something like that. So are you expecting the same from him? Are you expecting a big show from him? Because I'm sure the Watford fans would love to see João Pedro scoring against Luton.
Well, the Watford fans, I imagine, would absolutely love it. I think, as we've said, he's been the player of pre-season. So, it'll be one to watch on that opening day. I think, for me, there's always just that element of unknown, particularly with 1, the start of a new season, 2, a newly promoted team. I just don't really know what to expect. I think if we played Luton the end of last season, I'd be feeling much more confident about the run we were on and the form we were in and the way we were playing. But I kind of don't really know. We've got a bit of a new midfield. We don't know whether Caicedo's going to be playing. We've got potentially, I imagine Webster and Dunk will start, but we could have Julio playing at the back. Igor Julio, there's Pedro up front. You just don't really know. And I think I'm quite intrigued to see how the game's going to go and how Luton will line up. You'd imagine they'll be very physical. They'll be up for it. I think it's going to be an interesting game, but it's one that I can't really call at the moment. I don't know about you guys.
No, it is a tough one. Yeah, like you said, it is that unknown, so that's the tough part. Especially, an unknown kind of opposition that we haven't really faced. I'm sure there'll be some new faces in the team. I do want to just quickly make one correction, because I think I said that Chong was their most expensive signing, but they signed Ryan Giles from Wolverhampton for around 5 million as well. I mean, I don't really know too much about him. I can't lie. Never seen him play for Wolves either. They've got a guy called Mads Anderson they signed from Barnsley.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good.
He's meant to be quite a good player.
Yeah, he's got a big
Then they got a loan signing called Issa Kabore from Man City. Then they signed Marvelous Nakamba permanently, I believe, because I think he was on loan there last year.
There's some pretty good signings, There's some very decent signings. That's a strong side. I wouldn't be surprised to see, them doing all right. But I do still reiterate, this is the Brighton team that's been really, really well drilled over these last couple of years. The way we've built too, it is worth looking at. I mean, I think at the end of the day, we're going into this game, we expect to win this game because we want to go in and start the season strongly. De Zerbi's not going to take anything. He's not going to take any of my kindness towards Luton. He'll want to go in and win this game because it's the, service resumes. It'll be interesting to see what 11 we sort of put out. I think it's going to be more interesting than anything because I don't know what to predict. Obviously, Lewis Dunk did play in the friendly against Revienko. He hasn't really played at all. Talks of him having a sort of back injury, wasn't there, in the last season. I think it's also an issue with his ankle. So hopefully we haven't got an injured Lewis Dunk going into the new season because, I don't think he is. But you don't want to have someone that's got, a bit of a pain there, and you've got, obviously Colwell's gone. We haven't got another centre-back apart from Igor, who we don't quite know yet. Adam Webster obviously is quite injury-prone too, so I think maybe we need a little bit more depth at the back. And again, it reiterates the point of we don't quite know what that starting lineup's going to be, and that's only on Saturday. And that's, I think, what's mad.
Yeah.
Yes, selection headache for De Zerbi. And I really hope we got Lewis Dunk because he's key. Having a captain and a leader like that on the pitch is always so good for us. And on the flip side for them, for Luton, so I'm just learning about them on the spot here. But I recognise Sonny Bradley. Pretty sure he was their club captain. Actually left in the summer. He's gone to Derby, so that would be an interesting one because for them not playing, and I'm pretty sure he used to start most of the games again. Luton fans might, they can correct me if I'm wrong.
I used to do a Luton Town career mode on
reading
FIFA.
He scored their first. He scored their first championship goal.
Yeah.
He scored their first championship goal last season before, so he's obviously been a pivotal figure for them. So to play without him for the first time, maybe that might be a new one for the Luton team. But so I don't really know, honestly, too much to going into this game. It's just, other than you've got to be confident as a Brighton fan because we've been so excited seeing this team throughout the summer. So you can only really expect to win, surely.
You've got to think as well, their fans will be bang up through it. First Prem game, an away day, down in Brighton on a sunny day, they're going to be bang up for it, aren't they? It's going. I think that as much as anything is going to be a massive part of the game, and it's going to be about Brighton doing. That's something they've done really well in the past. It's just playing their way, killing the game, stifling the opposition, just game management almost as much as anything. I think could be a massive part of this game for Brighton. It's like you say, like I said a minute ago. I think it's just that little bit of unknown for me.
Yeah, and I remember as well that first away win we had in the Prem. Sorry, Ben. That first away win we had in the Prem, that West Ham away, 3-0. Were you? I remember I was there as well. It was a great day out, and I just remember that feeling coming out of that game. Izquierdo, new signing, just scored an absolute worldie. Obviously, Murray got a brace, I think. And we come out of it and we're just buzzing. We had, this whole new. It's so new. I think that whole 17-18 season was just so new to us. We've been so used to football league. Football pretty much our whole lives for all three of us. So I think when we got to the Premier League, it was just we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what was going into. It was this new feeling, and I think that first win against West Ham was just a great feeling. And sometimes you get them moments where these newly promoted clubs, they start a new season very strongly, and then they sort of fall down and settle around that 15th, 16th if they stay up. It will be interesting, but as I say, we do need to reiterate, this is a Brighton team that's very, very good at the moment. Very good. I mean, we've got obviously Billy Gilmore potentially starting alongside Caicedo, which would be quite interesting in replacement for Alexis McAllister. So I think that's also worth a mention as to what that midfield looks like, that double pivot. If we do keep hold of Caicedo, if we don't, that's a new double pivot. And again, what do we expect there?
Yeah, I guess you'd be looking at Dahoud and Gilmore. I get, yeah, you'd have to say I can't imagine Milner starts at all. Can't see Lallana starting either, especially with this new fresh talent that we've got. So yeah, I don't know. I think whatever team, even with or without Caicedo, I'm confident that we get a result. And I'll give my score prediction. I think it will be 3-1 to Brighton. I'm gonna say 3-1. One of the goals will be João Pedro. Yeah, I do think they'll score. It's a big day for them, isn't it? And like you said, you were talking about West Ham. I was going to also talk about our first ever game in the Prem. What was it? City at home. So many new faces. It's a whole mad experience. And I'm happy for the Luton fans that they're going to be able to experience that too. Being in the Premier League is such a massive achievement for them. And hopefully they'll still be able to enjoy the day, even when they lose 3-1. But Adam, I'll go for your score prediction as well, please.
Yeah, I'll go 2-0. I back your Pedro prediction as well. He's looked top these last few weeks. I think I'd back him to get a goal. I'm also going to say Enciso is going to score as well. And I think hopefully Caicedo will be in the right mindset, or if Paul Barber's word was right the other day,
playing, please.
They playing basically. I'd say alongside Mo Dahoud, to be honest, they'd be the two in midfield. I'd go for. I think Dahoud for me in midfield this pre-season's looked really good. So yeah, that'd be my prediction.
I think it's worth mentioning, just when you mentioned Dahoud, you mentioned all these new players, and this is the first Brighton summer in a long time. We've come out of a summer and we've actually made a good 6 signings potentially at the end of it. Now, it's been a long time, where we've had all these new faces. I mean, normally we've been quite used to being happy because we've retained players, or because we've managed to get out of a window alive sometimes, or we've got a lot of money for a player, which like Cucurella or something, or Ben White, we'll come out of it being quite satisfied. But then we would have probably signed a youth player that's come in for development, like Enciso. Whereas now we've got a whole new players of João Pedro, who's come straight in for starting. We've got Mo Dahoud, as you mentioned, who's come in as a first teamer. You've got even James Milner, who put in a good shift in the pre-season friendly. We've got a lot of players that are coming just straight into this team. So that's what, to me, is really hard to predict. But I do think we're going to win. I think João Pedro, as you say, he seems like the type that's going to be fired up for this game. He's going to be the type that I could imagine a bit like a Neil Maupay. I think he'll want to wind up a little bit. I think he's got a bit of a history with them fans. I looked at some Luton fans on Twitter, giving him quite a bit of stick, saying, about being the first game, whatever. And I think that's good. I think that's the sort of guy that's going to go back and want to fire it back at him. So I'm going to say a 4-1 win on the opening day. All of that considered, I think that Brighton are strong at the moment. I think we're strong. We made Brentford look very, very weak in the pre-seasons. I think we made, in the American tour. We made Newcastle not look all that too. Obviously, both of us had makeshift teams. It was only because of Ed Turns and I think it was Yasin Ayari, I think, had a mistake.
Gifted
a couple of blunders
really.
And they got done, really. And that was it. So we've looked really strong. Yeah. Keep hold of Caicedo. Yeah, we're looking good. I'm going to say a 4-1 win. I think that they'll score because that tends to be how them sort of games go.
Hopefully in front of their away end. If they do score, so I'm not saying hopefully they score. But if they do, hopefully for them it's in front of us.
Hopefully you don't.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, no, hopefully you don't. Hopefully, of course, hopefully they don't. A nice clean sheet for Jason Steele would be nice, I'm sure, after the blunder in pre-season. But on that note, I think that's all we can say on Luton. Hopefully we'll learn a lot more about them this season.
And good luck to him massively.
Yeah, definitely. Agreed.
Yeah, it could do. But yeah, Adam, thanks for joining. Ryan, thank you for joining. Yeah. And we will see you after the first game of the season.
Premier League's back. We're back.
It's back. We're back.
We back.